Hello. Um, this is a guide I am making for LBLJ. This isn't this isn't like a guide where I'm going to show you how to do LBLJ from scratch because those exist, but I want to show a bunch of common like pitfalls and mistakes that I was making and I see people making or people asking about on Discord that aren't I can't really find stuff going over them on YouTube. And like when I was trying to figure this trick out, I was having trouble with and couldn't really find any resources for. So if you are learning LBLJ, the first thing that I would recommend, and I will link in the description, is Drogie's guide because it's great. His content is fantastic. Um, but I want to go a little more in depth to troubleshooting because there's just so many things that can go wrong with this trick. There's so many like failure points. Um, and there are so many things that like no one really tells you. So hopefully if you're having trouble with this trick, I will cover one of the things that you're having trouble with. And if not, you can always put a comment and I will do my best to answer it. I'm not a master of this game, but I have been learning this trick over the past like month or two and I've gotten pretty consistent with it. And I've learned how to fix a lot of my mistakes. So the first thing is, and obviously I'm not going to show you like getting here. I don't even do it the right way, but I'm going to show you the actual LBLJ trick. So the first thing I always recommend is don't like put a lot of distance between yourself and this wall. So go up into this corner as far as you can pretty much without clipping back out. And as Drogie says in his guide, play around, walk around in this little area and see like what the dimensions are. But you want to go up here. And the next thing is you want to do the long jump out of the turnaround. You don't want to like do the turnaround, stop, and then go into the long jump because you're going to lose that momentum. And the momentum kind of helps you to do the long jump without like running too far that you clip back out. So you're going to do your long jump and then obviously start holding like upright. You can look at my input display. And then right after you do the long jump, you want to hit C right. And that will prevent the camera from doing this. From like panning back around to where it's like facing toward Mario. Oh, that worked for some reason. But what you'll see a lot... Okay, what you'll see a lot is the camera kind of turn like this. And then it makes it a lot harder to do, still doable, but difficult. So you're going to hit C right once to make sure the camera stays this way. And then when you're doing your BLJs, you can kind of hold, it's pretty lenient, you can go like upright or right. Yeah, I'm going like right. So one thing that happened to me a lot when I was learning this trick is, let's see if I can make it happen. That's what it looks like, but that's not why. Let's see, this looks good. Yeah, this. So peeling off the wall and going back into the lobby. Sometimes what you'll do is you almost do like a backwards rollout where he has the speed from the backwards long jump, so he's shooting backward, but you end up doing like a rollout off of these stairs. What that is that when you're doing the long jump and going backwards, you're going too far into the corner here. I used to think like, oh, you got to be nestled perfectly into the corner. You don't. You actually want to be like right here. You want to catch yourself on this wall. Like the part of the floor that's facing like the black void area. You want to catch yourself on that. You don't want to catch yourself on this wall, the side of the stairways. So I'm like kind of cutting my stick right to get myself caught there. After the long jump. And if you go not far enough, you can see I just kind of adjusted. You just go like left, right real quick. So you're going a little bit farther back. But, cool, man. Cool, man. But, yeah, so that's the first thing, and that was the biggest problem I was having with this trick. You really do want to be wedged like right here, and you're really going like this way. So then after that, you do your long jumps. I think the most optimal long jumps is for like beginner is like 16 long jumps. So I kind of count in fours, almost like music. So I got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you got like 16. That seems pretty good. That's like an optimal amount of speed because there are some things that can happen if you don't have enough speed, and there's some things that can happen if you have too much speed. Sometimes 17 is the magic number. But yeah, so let's get into the next part. Oh, I gotta start over here. So, as I mentioned before, things can happen if you have too much or too little speed. Oh, and that's just because I dropped my BLJs. So, now we're here. And what you want to do is mash C right. I used to think like C right, wait, C right, wait, C right, wait, C right, wait. That will work, but if you have too much speed, what's going to happen is you're going to get caught right here. If you have a lot of speed and you're not doing C right fast enough, and sometimes even if you are doing C right fast enough, you're going to get caught right here. This usually meant you had so much speed that Mario just like zipped over here before the camera could even catch up with him and put him on the stairway. So that's why I like to like limit the amount of BLJs you do, because again, if you have too much speed, you're gonna get caught here. And if you just keep balling out doing BLJs, you are eventually just gonna like blow past the stairway anyway and go back into the lobby before you even make it back here into what I call like the void zone. And then in the void zone, you want to be right here. You can see how like Mario kind of snapped over right there. This is like the place that it starts out of. Sometimes when you do a BLJ, you'll get put into like a weird place. Sometimes he kind of ends up like right here, like outside the door, but like close to the door. And it's usually not going to work if you're in the wrong place. You can actually adjust. So if you're like right here and you realize through a little experience that you're in the wrong place, you can kind of mess around with the stick and go like down left to put himself into like the back area of this. And I'm going to do a couple more BLJs to try and show you. Another thing is if you're going too slow, this is what it seems to me, at least. If you're going too slow, Mario's just going to walk out the door. You may have seen Mario walk through the door and go back outside, or do this weird thing where he clips outside the door, but then he walks back in. That, I think, means you're going too slow. Drogie says it's a bad angle, so it might have something to do with that too, but I'm not so sure because I do a notched angle. I just go down right after I do my BLJs. You can see it in the input display. I just go down right, and it works every time for me. I think it's speed dependent. I think if you're walking through the door, you didn't have enough speed. See, I just did down right. Now I'm over here. You switch to down, and mash C right. Don't mash it that much, because you're going to get that hot CCM skip. So mashing C right until I'm facing the stairway, couple A presses, do a Street Fighter combo when you pass through the Dark World door, and you hopefully will just land right on the trapdoor. Yeah, so you really want to mash C right to put yourself in the right place. And then, yeah, you just hit A, and you kind of jump up the stairs. If you think that you have too much speed, because sometimes you can just tell. Like, you do your BLJs, you hold down right to clip past the door, and Mario just, like, zooms. You can already tell, like, obviously you're not going to have a speed display on when you're doing real attempts, because you're not going to be playing on Usamune. So you'll kind of get a feel for when you have too much speed, and if that happens, just hit A. You can drop, like, sometimes, like, 400 speed. You don't want to drop too much speed because at about 200 speed, the trick will still work. You'll still get the clip, but you are going to have to listen to Bowser tell you that you don't have 8 stars to go through the Dark World door. But then you do anyway. But you have to read that dialogue box and waste a couple seconds. So, yeah, this turnaround is easier than you would think. I had trouble with this too because I wasn't like comfortable in here. and I wasn't hitting C right fast enough. That's all. Those are really the big pain points, I think, for this trick. And the most important one is just not being all the way in that corner or too far against this wall, because you won't even be able to get it started, and you're going to be resetting over and over again. So that's really it. Again, leave a comment if you're having trouble with anything, and I'll do my best to explain. And I'm sorry for the rambly nature of this. I am not a video editor, and I'm not a master player, and I'm not a master teacher. So I can't make like a nice guide like some streamers and content creators can. But yeah. And another thing I want to add, a lot of players will tell you like don't do LBLJ until you have sub whatever, you have sub 17 in non LBLJ or something like that, or like a low 17. That's sound advice, and that's totally fine. But my advice has always been like, do whatever is fun for you. And me personally, I had like an 1830 in no LBLJ 16 stars just because I didn't have a lot of passion for it. I didn't think it was very fun. I didn't like the WOMP stars, like the same stuff you do in 70. I didn't like the CCM stars. So I was like, you know what, let me try LBLJ because people say it's really hard. I'm gonna let you know a little secret. It's not that hard. Once you get a hold of like these things and you iron out all the details, it can be pretty consistent if you just practice it. It's not the hardest trick in the game by a long shot. It's not SBLJ, it's not Island Hop, it's not Pless. Those things I think are all way harder than this. So do what is fun for you, because I find this route super fun. But, if you think it's too early, totally fine. If you're like, screwed, I'm never going to be a top runner, I just want to like do what I want to do with this game, more power to you. All right, thank you for watching, guys. Let me know if you need help with anything else.